on crafting your brand messaging statement. Your brand messaging is essentially statements you plan on saying over and over again to your target audience about your business as you are marketing. When you create your brand messaging, it's going to make sure that what you're saying is going to stick with your customer, and that you hopefully will craft your messages in a way that is both relatable to them and gets their attention. Because when you do that, it makes it a whole lot easier for you to get sales. So your messages should communicate to the world like what you are, who you are for, what makes your business unique, why customers should choose or buy your products and services, and how they can buy these products and services. So your message will also be written in a tone that you will use as you communicate with your target audience. And this tone could be like relaxing, it could be corporate like, it can be just like weird and quirky. If you are going to be the type of brand that uses curse words or profanity, then you may take more of a crass tone. You're definitely going to want to think about what tone you want to use to communicate with your target audience, so that you make sure that you communicate in that way from start to finish. Also, when you know what tone you want your stuff written in, and once you know your brand messaging and have your brand messaging statements, if you work with someone that helps you come up with your marketing or advertising strategies, you'll be able to give them this information to help them understand your brand, so that the stuff that they're creating is going to be in alignment with your brand, and actually going to be in alignment with just what your brand is and what it is that you're trying to create. So your marketing messages and your marketing statements could include. So the first thing is your brand story. So your brand story is essentially how you got started with your business, or why you do what you do. So this, for the most part, should be like an emotional appeal to your audience. It's helping them understand the how you got started. You definitely want to keep this brand story short and sweet, because you're not going to have 100 million hours to be telling people about why you got started. I would say just try to keep it to a minute or less, 30 minutes, not, yeah, 30 minutes. I'm sorry, a minute or less, or like 30 seconds. So here's a good example. And this is actually one of the backstories to a client that I have. So I started my hair care line because I found out that as I got older, my hair structure changed. My hair started thinning and I started getting bald spots. It was really embarrassing, and I had a hard time finding products that I could use in a systematic way to help me maintain my hair and keep it moisturized. I had nobody that I could talk to about the issues. When I walked into the beauty store, I was overwhelmed because there was always a bunch of products, but none of them really seemed to appeal to me as a older woman. Um, I'm sorry, I kind of got off key. So the products didn't appeal to me or show me that they are the brand that specifically caters to women who are getting older but desire to have healthy, natural hair after years of damaging. So that's kind of like a good backstory or a brand story as to how your brand got birthed. If you are actually in this target audience, this might have resonated with you. And if this resonated with you, then what would that do? That would encourage you to take a look at these products. You said some things that might resonate with me. I'm older. I'm having thinning hair and bald spots. I want healthy hair. So I'm going to listen to what you have to say. So that's a good example. A bad example would be I started my business to make money, or I started a boutique just because I wanted to sell clothes. Like, that's not gonna want like that's not gonna make people connect to you or make them even want to take a look at what you have, because now it just seems like you're just in it to sell them stuff. So your brand promise. Your brand promise is what you guarantee your customer through your products, your services, and or their experience with you. So some examples would be we will always provide unique and vibrant lead and nickel free jewelry that you can wear multiple times. So if that is your brand promise, then that means that you're telling them that they can trust you to come and get jewelry that is lead free, nickel free, and that they can wear more than once. So what does that mean on the back end? That means on the back end that all of the products that you're looking at, that you're testing out, that you're putting on your website is going to meet your brand promise. And if you bring someone into your world based on the brand promise and you live up to that expectation, they're going to stay a customer with you. But if you tell them all this great stuff and they get your products and it's not up to par, it's trash, like it's a little sketchy, then you're going to lose them as a customer. So your brand promise is not just going to be just something that you say just to say it. It's going to be like what you actually do. So another brand promise will be all of our products contain 100% natural ingredients that are always tested in a lab and proven to stimulate hair growth and build healthier hair. Let me correct this. And build healthier hair. So those are two brand promise, statements. If you sell clothing, let's just say for curvier women, we will always provide, clothing that's going to not only hug your curves, but make them look great while you're wearing them. Okay, so your target audience statement would be a brief statement that just states who you are targeting. And so this is something that you might say when you're out and about, you're meeting people and people are like, oh, like, what is your brand about? What do you sell? Like, who are you for? So some examples would be, we are a brand for women who realize that they are not as young as they used to be, and that they need a reliable and proven hair care system that they can use to maintain their hair. So in a nutshell, we told who the target audience is. So we use like key indicating words like for women realizing they are not as young as they used to be. So that's a way of saying, women that are getting older, and women who are looking to maintain their hair. So it's not as in depth as what we went into when we created like your customer avatar and when we wrote out actually a lot of stuff about your target audience. But your target audience statements gives just enough information for people to determine whether or not they will fall in the category of who you're trying to target and need what you have to offer. So another example would be, we are a brand for women who want lead-free and nickel-free luxury and designer-looking jewelry to build their collection. So what does that say about the target audience? Even though it's not, very in-depth, it is definitely saying enough that we're a brand for women, women who may have skin allergies, so they need lead-free and nickel-free jewelry. They want luxury-looking and designer-looking jewelry, so they might have like a higher quality or like a luxury taste, and to build their collection. So these are women who are avid jewelry wearers. Like, these are the women like you go into their house and they got a wall full of jewelry. So again, it's talking about the target audience without being too broad. Is still giving enough to be specific. So your brand essence. So your brand essence statements is, what do you want to be known for? So this could actually be the adjectives that you defined in the earlier challenge, or brand values. So you want to write them out in a way that you will say them to your customer as you would tell them about your brand. So for example, if one of your brand values was fast communication and shipping, your brand essence or your brand statement for what you want to be known for would be, we ship out all orders quickly and update you with a tracking code within 24 hours. Like, you want to be known for that brand that has like super fast shipping. Like, wow, like, we got our orders quick and I got a tracking before the end of the day. So if that's what you want to be known for, then you know what's in your head. You have to put it out on paper and start looking at this stuff and repeating it over and over again, so that when you start talking to people, it's just going to flow naturally, but then you're also giving that pre-thought about this stuff so that when you are talking to people, you're going to remember all the good stuff and like really hit home, you know, for your brand. So the last thing is the USPs. We already dealt with USPs, so unique selling proposition or unique selling points. So as you learned earlier, your USPs are what your customers want and need and what you do well. And then it could be also like what your customers' pain points, wants, needs, and desires are, and pretty much how you're going to meet those needs. So if you've been following along, you did like the chart in the Boutique Owner Planning book where it was like the pain point, wants, and needs on one side, and how you meet those needs. Now you've had like 2 times to go in and make sure that all of that stuff is in alignment with who you're trying to target and the brand that you're trying to build. So chances are you might have just wrote them out in quick little snippets or wrote them out in notes or whatever. So now is the time to write them out in well thought out sentences. Again, because this is the stuff that you're going to say to your target audience to connect with them, and you're saying this stuff because you know that this is what they want and need. And so that one of the key ways to make sales is knowing what customers want and need and telling them how you meet that want and need. So you're going to go ahead and write it out in a way that you're going to say this to your target audience. So again, these are statements. So the statement should be clear and focused on, I would try to say like one thing per statement. Don't try to cram so much into it to where the customer's trying to make it make sense. No, it's your job to make it make sense. So it's easier to just do it in like shorter statements. So for example, we provide products that can be used daily to stimulate hair growth and balding spots. So what would be the need like or desire that the customer may have? Like, so these customers may want products that's going to help grow their hair and balding spots. So how are you going to meet that need? We provide products that can be used daily to stimulate hair growth and balding spots. So we told them what we can do, but we also brought up that issue that they having so that it connects the two. So another statement is for USP is all of our jewelry is nickel free and lead free. Simple to the point. Another one is our clothing stretches to hug your curves in all of the right places. Simple and to the point. So today's task is to go to the brand messaging page in the target audience section in the Boutique Owner Planning book and use the blank spaces to write out your target, to write out your marketing messages. So, you know, whatever sentences you have, like, or statements you have for your USP, your brand essence, your target audience statement, your brand promise, even your brand story, you can write it out in those spaces. Now, those spaces are kind of small, so you will either have to write small or print out the pages multiple times. If you don't want to go through all that and you like really about to get to it, then if it's not enough space, you can write your statements out in hopefully the challenge notebook that you should have as you are taking your notes, or you can type them out, because this is going to be something that you can add into your business plan that you'll be able to create later on after the challenge is over as a bonus. So you really want to take the time to think about your message, and you really want to take the time to craft your message, because like this is going to be so instrumental to making sure that as you are marketing your products and services, that you stay in alignment with what you know your customers want. Because if you're not speaking in a way that resonates with your customers or is not giving them what they want, then they're not going to buy. So I really hope that this helps. You are getting through the challenge. I'm so proud of you. Like, you're almost there. At the end of the challenge, you would have done all of the brain work, the thought work, and all of the footwork that you need to do before you kind of go into those next steps of actually taking your money that you have and investing it into your business. So doing this work is going to make sure that you've done your due diligence. It's going to make sure that you are, in essence, you have a strategy in place that you'll be able to implement, so you can go in confident that this business or this boutique or this online store that you're going to launch will work with the right amount of effort Why? Because you did the pre-work, you did the planning work. This is the stuff that probably 85% of people skip as they are starting online boutiques. Most people just go to buying the inventory and building a website. Nobody is doing this stuff. So you all are going to come out ahead of the curve, and I'm confident that when you do launch your business, you'll launch confidently and you'll launch with the ability to start, making the sales that you want to make. So I look forward to seeing you all in the next challenge. Bye bye.